Welcome back to another Studio One sit down, a chill situation where I sit here in this comfy chair and talk guitar stuff and nonsense with a special guest. It's a simple, tried and true concept. We're not reinventing the wheel here. We're just talking to good people about the good oil and how they like to spread it. My guest today is Louisa Nicklin, an Auckland guitarist that has been doing the rounds of the indie circuit for a few years now, mesmerising audiences wherever she goes. And word spread, there was a chitter and a chatter moving down the Motu about a skilled player with not only a fantastic natural guitar tone, she also possessed a rich alto vocal and a penchant for vivid lyrical imagery. The rumour found its way to New Zealand Music Hall of Famer Shane Carter, whose interest peaked so hard that he invited Louisa to join his group Dimmer. Carter then went on to produce the Big Sulk, which is Louisa's second album. Louisa Nicklin, welcome, and thank you very much for coming to Studio One Vintage Guitars. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah? Work from home day today, you said?
Yeah, a bit of an admin day.
Admin day.
Yeah.
I have a friend whose name's Brad, and he's known because he's always doing favours for his friends, and his friends call it Bradman.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, it is very cute.
Yeah. I don't have anything cute to call it. It's just admin day.
It's just admin day.
Yeah.
It's got to be done. I try and tend to do my admin like in the morning, fresh with coffee, and then you can get on with creative stuff. But anyway, I digress. We're here to talk about guitars.
Yes.
How old were you when you first picked up the guitar? Do you remember picking up the guitar, or were you later on in life?
I guess it's picking up a guitar, who knows. Young, I got a ukulele when I was like 4 or 5 and would pretend to
That's
play
pretty
guitar.
early.
Yeah, and I didn't know how to play it, but I would pretend to heaps and loved it. But I kind of got into it early teens. My sister was playing, and then I think she taught me one song over one summer, and I think it was Sway.
Great song.
Yeah.
Great song.
Yeah.
Or
something like that, and then got into lessons maybe a year or two later.
Oh yeah, I was going to ask, did you have lessons? Can you remember your teacher?
Yeah, this guy Jim.
Was it a good? I remember being quite. I don't think I actually had any guitar lessons, but I was like an angsty kid that didn't want to listen to anybody.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah.
But did you have a good relationship with your teacher? Did they?
Yeah, he was pretty cool. He was just taught guitar out of kind of his basement area.
Yeah.
And I'd rock up and he would teach me some old classic song, and then I'd go home and practice it, and then go back next week and learn another one, and on it went, It was great.
And was that like acoustic, or did you go straight into electric guitar?
That was all acoustic, and then we actually had a little phase of like flamenco guitar, which was really fun.
Oh yeah.
I got quite into that for a bit.
So full finger style rather than pick.
Yeah. Kind of Spanishy style. And electric didn't come till quite a bit later in life. So I was like all acoustic for a long time, and thought electric felt like I don't know what that is and I don't know how to do that. But now it's basically
That's what you do.
It's your
main. It's your main thing.
Yeah.
Do you still like practice guitar? I know that might sound like, to viewers, that might be a stupid question, like any like guitar heads will be like, oh, of course I practice. But for those guitar heads out there, indie musicians just play, gigs, and write songs, Is that sort of what you do? Like, are you writing and experimenting with the guitar and therefore learning more about it?
Yeah, I think sometimes I practice just by practicing my own songs. If I've got a show coming up or whatever, or if I play in a different band, like in Dimmer, I have to do practice because I don't know that music as well as my own.
Yeah.
But I guess I try and I have tried writing songs that are too hard for me to play. Not all the time. That would get a bit pretentious, I think, if I was always doing that. But I've written a few songs that are almost too hard to play and sing over as like a challenge for myself to try and upskill a little bit.
Yeah, of course.
For guitar and for vocals, I guess. Same with singing. I know we're not here to talk about singing, but you try and write something that sits just out of your range, and you learn to get it eventually.
I've kind of gone the other way with singing. My voice is totally dropped, and a couple of years ago, I got back together with like my old band from when I was like in my early 20s.
Yeah.
And like learning those songs again was like ridiculous. It took me like 3 months of just like annoying vocal exercises just to get back on top of it. Yeah, that was an experience. Tell me about the whole dimmer thing. I mean, like, how did Shane? How did he seek you out? Did he hear your first record, or what? How did that sort of?
He heard my EP. Well, he heard a song off my EP.
Yeah.
And then reached out and was like, "You're doing good. Keep doing it. It's cool."
Awesome.
And we had a bit of like a mentor relationship for a bit, I guess, just like email, might send him some songs,
awesome.
but not heaps of contact. And then and he'd like come to some of the shows and stuff like that, and it was just like cool mentorship energy. And then he reached out and was like, "I'm gonna do a reunion tour for my old band, my band Dimmer.
Yeah.
Do you want to come play?"
Awesome.
And he actually kind of originally asked more for me to sing. He was like, "I think our voices would sound great together." And then we did that, and he's like, "You can play a little bit of guitar too." But I ended up being more guitarist than I am singer because we haven't really talked about it, but I think I find it, I sit more naturally in the instrumentalist realm then, because I didn't really start singing till way later in life. So like trying to do harmonies and stuff, like it takes me a lot longer than like learning a little riff, you know?
Sure.
Yeah, so that's kind of how that came about.
Yeah. I was going to say I've never really met him, but my Shane Carter story is, I came to, I was living in Christchurch playing music, and then came up to Auckland, and it was like the first time my little band had played in Auckland, and we were so stoked. And he showed up at the gig, and we were like, "Oh my God, Shane Carter's here," you know. And then he, after the gig, we were packing up our gear, and we were getting ready to go. And he kind of slinks over and goes, "Oh, you're the band, eh? Who's got the joint?" And it was like, "Fucking Shane Carter's asking us for a joint." We were so stoked. It was really great. Yeah, it was cool. It was cool.
Yeah.
So I've been listening to your current album, The Big Sulk, and it features like really what I would call like measured guitar work. Like it seems really thought out. There's like there's often just one kind of guitar idea ruminating through the song, and then like some atmospheric sort of swimming up. There's some really meditative finger picking on Can't See.
Oh yeah. That was one of the ones I did to try and like challenge myself.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, sick. Oh, well, it paid off because it's awesome.
Yeah.
And yeah, those atmospheric parts. Some of it like reminded me the discordant sort of stuff of Jeff Buckley. Are you aware of him? Do you like his music or?
I used to listen to him a lot.
You did? Yeah. Everybody did.
Eh? Yeah. And I still do, but I get
cringy.
No, I get anxious or shy about like talking about him as any influence because it was so influential early on. Yeah. And now it's not really anymore. Yeah. You know, like it's not so much anymore, but I guess it was so much so that in my really early songwriting, I was basically copying him, you know? Right. So it's a thing where you kind of like...
That's so funny.
But,
who's
but now it's different, I guess.
Yeah, who's the guitarist that like with the Big Sulk, like were there any touchstones? Were you, not necessarily when you're writing, but like, well, it could be when you're writing, but like when you're producing that record, like, coming up with sounds, were there any references that you sort of threw around?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, like I was writing on the back of the first Dimmer tour I did, so I think I was quite influenced by that. Like not heaps and heaps, but like little elements of it for sure were slipping through. And then I guess I get influenced by like guitarists, but more like songwriters in general, like PJ Harvey. Yeah. I love.
Oh, I can hear that.
And
you've
like
got that
the guitar as well. And
darkness. And for want of a better term, moody. I don't want to, like,
moody.
But what's that one?
Moody.
Moody.
Yeah.
But yeah, PJ Harvey definitely has that. Yeah. Oh, cool.
And another reference that I've sort of, I think, mentioned a few times in different interviews and stuff would be Portishead for sure. Like,
oh, wow.
Like,
cool.
obviously quite different.
Yep.
They're a lot more like industrial sort of, I don't know, sounds, but...
Bristol, mate. Bristol.
Yeah, but the singing and the songwriting and the guitar and everything, like the sounds they make and stuff, definitely, or just the atmospheres and the moods that they create.
Yes.
Definitely influence me, but maybe not as like a direct way.
No, I can totally hear that, but I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have ordinarily. I hadn't thought of it, but it totally makes sense.
Yeah, because it's quite different music.
That's the best kind of influence.
Rather than being 20 and being influenced by Jeff Buckley and just
JBA.
literally writing a Jeff Buckley song knockoff. Yeah.
Get a white tally. How high can I sing?
Yeah.
Do you use alternative tunings, or do you just rock standard?
I rock standard, and I've been recently rocking a little bit of drop D. But
fun.
Yeah, it's kind of that same thing where like I like open tunings, but sometimes I feel like they box you in, and it's hard to move away from a particular sound when you're using them or something.
Yeah, totally.
And so I try to, I try and create some of that sound without using the, I don't know what it is. It's also like a gigging thing of like, if you're always changing a tuning, it's quite annoying. So if there's a way to if there's a way to play it in standard or something similar, like, then that's quite nice. Yeah. But I've definitely had my open tuning phase, like kind of late teens, summer, acoustic guitar in open D, learning John Butler Trio.
I saw a video of
all that energy. Yeah.
They're doing a tour, I think.
Oh, true.
He popped up in my Instagram feed the other day, and he was like, just fucking slaying. Like
he does slay.
He does slay. Yeah. I mean, that was always a, no offense to, that kind of sound, but it never really was my, I think when John Butler Trio was like really cranking, I was kind of like on my She Had buzz or something.
Yeah.
But man, he was like sliding and
he had that big tune, that Ocean, that song. It was like a 10-minute open tuning piece that he plays, and everyone would be like, whoa.
Did you learn it from start
to finish?
It. Yeah, girl!
I don't remember it anymore, but it's all like that stuff where you like hit the strings, and then you're like
full percussive?
And all that stuff.
You're a beast!
Yeah. That was my I really enjoyed that for a while.
Do you want to do a little bit of that?
No, it was one of those things where like it seemed really impressive, but because of the open tuning, it actually wasn't that crazy. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It's like it was. I reckon it looked and sounded more crazy than it was.
Right. That's often, what open tunings will do. But I 100% agree with you. Sometimes you kind of get stuck in that sort of the timbre of the tuning. Yeah. And it's like, oh my God, all of these songs, they're all in the key of E or D or whatever you're in. It's hard to chop out of it. What about the song that sort of jumped out to me? I mean, Thick is the first one that I heard off of the record when it was like
the first single, kind of thing.
Yeah. It's a really, overall, it's quite a, it's a really live sort of dry sounding record. Would that be safe to say?
Definitely.
Was it recorded live?
It was actually recorded in a whole mix of ways, but some of it was live tracked. Thick wasn't. It was all just layered, but. But it was like the drums were recorded not in a studio, it was like at a batch and stuff. So like there is that sound, and I like that when things have that kind of like, I don't know, a little bit of authenticity to them of like this sort of like the band is actually just playing this tune, and I think that feels cool when it's not overproduced kind of thing. Feels important sometimes.
So even though there was a producer in the room, so to speak, it sort of just feels like a live band. Yeah, somewhat,
I think. Like maybe less so than my first record where it really was that. We just like played the songs and added a few overdubs and called it a day, All right, whereas this one there was more production, but I think the result isn't like a super overly produced album. Like it's like everything's very, like you say, measured, it's like purposeful. So it's produced in that sense.
Pre-production, like talking to
Yeah,
Shane
a lot
about,
of pre-production.
about the songs and
playing them and
maybe this only needs 2 verses before we go into
a bit
the
of
chorus,
bit of like the songwriting stuff with him.
key changes, like,
then,
or did you sort of, when you wrote them, you sort of settled on
the key mostly, but and then like also the arrangements with the bands before we went into production, like with the band, things like that. So there was a lot of pre-production, and there definitely was a lot of stuff post as well. Adding little twinkles here and there and stuff like that, but.
On the Shroud there's like, is it slide guitar or in the background or reverse slide, or is it xylophone or something? Or
that
is it
thing's
something
like
that you
bow,
can't even remember,
It's just a little synth,
Yeah, it's a little synth kind of bubbling
Yeah, that was
away.
a Durham Fenwick who's Green Grove. Also plays in Dimmer. That was one of
something
his touches.
He
joined us towards the end.
How does that show? We've got some guitars here.
Yeah.
Show me the killer riff, dude.
I don't know if I can play that bit, but it's just...
We're both in drop D, aren't we? Yeah. Oh, the old, what do they call that, a flat 5.
A bit further down, you're a bit high up there.
Yeah.
It mostly just plays with these 2 chords throughout and that's kind of what I come to the band with, is just like some of this. Just make up their parts and it's fun.
That's how it works, yeah? You just come with the riff and...
Usually.
So, I love those... Oh, it's so tight. It's crunchy.
Yeah. And there's another little crunchy bit at the end that was a Durham bit as well that's like... He was talking about how he liked how when things are like there's a line going up and a line going down, when things are kind of moving in opposite directions and that kind of stuff.
I can't remember what that's called. It's some kind of harmony.
Yeah.
One's ascending and the other one's descending.
So that was actually something that he played at the end when we were sort of jamming around with it. And I think I hadn't, at that point I was probably just still some of the same stuff, and then he started doing that, and I thought that was very cool. It was fun. It's a fun song to play.
Does Durham feature on the recording?
Yep. So he's playing that on the Shroud. He plays a bit of guitar, bit of synth.
Is he in the live band as well?
He was for a bit, but he's having a baby.
Is he?
Yeah.
Congrats, Durham Fenwick.
Yeah. So he's doing his thing. He still plays with a few bands, and we play with him every now and then. I did a little duo set with him recently.
Yes, I saw that he was absent from the recent South by trip.
With Guardians.
Yeah. So
Baby on the Way.
Baby on the Way. Got to be done, bro. Well done.
Yeah.
Let's talk about live guitar setup.
Cool.
I see you out with your Rickenbacker.
Yeah.
But I've also seen you out with like an odd kind of SG.
Oh yeah, it's like a Japanese 1960s
Kasuga or no, what is it?
Tesco.
Oh, cool.
Wow.
Yeah, we had an old Tesco 12-string. I'd never seen an SG before.
Yeah. It's
wow.
I think it is a Tesco.
Yeah.
Or what's the other one that starts with T from that era?
I don't know.
No, it must be Tesco.
Cool.
Yeah. Anyway, it's
Cute.
fun. It's a fun one.
Pedals, do you rock those, or are you like sort of straight into the...
I used to be just literally straight into the amp,
and
then it got stressful with tuning sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't have a tuner. I'm but I kind of loved just being able to rock up and no nonsense.
Yeah.
And my bassist Eamon would do the same, and it was kind of fine when we played as a trio, because as long as we were in tune to each other, all is well. But now we've grown up and we've got tuners, and we also sometimes I rock some other things. But a lot of the songs I play just straight into the amp, and then like a few of them, like the Shroud or Thick or something, I just throw on some crazy pedals for a bit of fun.
Yeah.
So
you're not like, oh, I've got to have a delay and I've got to have a phaser.
Nah. Like I think at the moment on my pedal board I've got a delay, got a drive.
Yeah.
I've got a little wah, a little mini wah,
Oh, cool.
which is quite fun.
Cool.
That was a.
Do you use that in a similar way? One of the I've always loved the way Shane uses a wah. Like he doesn't like go, you know, waka 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 funky.
Yeah, no, I don't use it like that.
He
either.
sort of uses it like just as like a sort of a filter. Well,
Yeah.
it is a filter, but like
Yeah.
he uses it quite slow, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Is that sort of
It's
what
similar.
you do?
Yeah, I think it definitely was one of the influences of the dimmer time.
Yeah.
Basically, if you're in dimmer, you have to have a wah.
Okay.
So Shane has long-term lended me his little baby wah,
Oh, cool.
and now it lives on my pedal board.
Oh,
and
nice.
I use it a little bit like in thick, and yeah. Oh, and I have this great poly octave. What is it? Old school Boss pedal.
Oh, a harmonist? No?
Can't remember. Terrible.
What colour is it?
Blue.
Oh, phase shifter? No.
Nah. But yeah, it's very cool.
Okay.
Does all sorts of creepy octave stuff, and then also like just general like harmony to each other, and
Yeah.
you know, or horrible not harmony and that kind of thing. You know.
Yeah, it sounds like the harmonist pedal.
Yeah. Maybe it is.
Let's. You can comment in the comments later
and tell you
us
what
what it is.
Yeah, yeah. But I enjoyed that. Also something I hardly ever use, but it's great just every now and then, like a little sprinkle on a song, you know? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Touches.
Make something sound a little organy just for like one or two notes
Shit, yeah.
and then take it away.
Yeah.
Yeah, just using them sparingly or over the top is basically how I use pedals.
Yeah. What's coming up? You got anything in the pipes? I know you're playing with Jasmine Mary on a few shows.
Yeah, I play with Jasmine Mary, and we're going to Whanokē next week. We're
Yep.
going to play there.
Yep.
Well, I don't know.
How
maybe
many groups do you play in? So there's Dimmer, there's your stuff, there's
Jasmine Mary. That's kind of it at the moment. I've sort of done some other moonlighting where I've like
Yep.
I played in DC Maxwell when he was
yep.
based in Tamaki, but he's over in Melbourne now. So I played bass for him, which was really fun. And then I played on the Mermaidens tour.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I got to
Second
be like
guitar.
I got to be a little fourth merm for a little while, which was cute.
Awesome.
But that was
It's
a
every
little while ago now.
guitarist's dream.
I
eh?
know, it was really fun music to play.
Yeah.
Like, it sort of challenged me a little bit as well, learning all Gussie's crazy riffs and
Yep.
like all that stuff. It was really fun. It was like really fun guitar music, you know? Yeah, it was good.
Cool. So a bit of touring with other people, and then whenever the time is right, maybe we'll see some new Louisa Nicklin stuff.
Yeah, I really want to bring out some more stuff.
Yeah.
Do some more writing and
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
yeah.
hard. You can't push that sort of shit.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
It's just got to come when it comes, right?
Yeah, you gotta have a
Yeah.
little bit of discipline, I guess, but
Yeah.
yeah. A bit of
Yeah.
both. A bit of like creative spark and sitting down and actually just doing it as well.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
Get a wee stool. Get a wee desk.
Yeah.
Are you a lyric first person, or do you make a riff up and then?
Kind of both. It's
Yeah.
like it's not really like time for a song, lyrics, riff. It's kind of like months of floating, like some lyrics.
a song,
Yeah. It's like floating around with some lyrics and some riffs are floating around, and then like
Yeah.
at some point they find each other.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
kind of usually how it
So
goes.
you might have like some lyrics sitting there and waiting.
Yeah.
Shit hot, dude.
Or
I find it real hard, eh?
yeah, I find lyrics hard.
Yeah.
The guitar bit's easier. I like writing on guitar as well. It's kind of like what feels natural.
Yeah.
But or sometimes just a bit of like improv guitar and improv singing, record it, see what comes out. It might be total mush,
Yeah.
but it might be cool. Or there might
Just
be
some
like a few
phonetic-
seconds of cool and then you take that.
Yeah. You mean melody wise, like finding trying to find a vocal melody?
And lyrics as
Yeah,
well.
and
Just
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
like, it means you do a lot of,
yeah.
and lots of like the same lyric over and over again, which
Yeah.
does come out in some of my songs.
Oh,
but-
right. No, that's just the chorus.
Yeah,
There's a repetitive
yeah.
chorus.
Yeah, but
Oh.
yeah, so I do a bit of that.
Oh, that's any way that we can write a song, I think, is the best way. Whatever it takes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, well, thanks for visiting us down here at Studio One.
My pleasure.
Stick around. We're hopefully going to get a little song.
Yeah,
Get a
cool.
performance out of you. We'll probably put that in a different video. But that was Studio One Sit Downs for another episode with Louisa Nicklin. If you're a musician out there and you've got something cooking, do get in touch with me, either via Studio One or on my Instagram or whatever. We can chat about maybe coming in. But thank you, Louisa. It's been fun getting to know you a bit more and having you in and talking about guitars.
Yeah, cool to see the shop as well.
Chibbo! See you next time.